guys, and welcome to this week's new What's New in the Store video. So as you can see, I'm banished behind a plethora of new graphic novels here. Obviously we've got all the single issues in, new releases are on the racks, ready to go. I'll have a pull list video obviously elsewhere on the YouTube channel. You can certainly check out what I'm reading. But for now, I just wanted to focus on the new graphics that came this week. So again, a nice little mix of some older titles, some classics we wanted to get back on the shelves, a combination of some great value compendiums if you really want to sink your teeth into a story, and then also obviously the new releases there as well. So I'm going to kick things off first of all with an Oni Press title that I think has not got enough love. I'm a big fan of this. It's a great all ages title from the Samneys, so Chris Samney and Laura Samney, and Matt Wilson doing colors as well. And this is called Jonah and the Impossible Monsters. So what you've got here is issues 1 to 5 all together, but then issue 6 has come out this week as well. So if you want to read this and jump on the singles, that's certainly an option. But brilliant all ages title, highly recommend. We have the Marvelverse now for Doctor Strange. So essentially what these are again is collecting together some important stories through certain characters' histories and then just putting them all in one place. So this one's for Doctor Strange. You've got Uncanny Origins number 12, Doctor Strange 55, Marvel Adventures Hulk number 5, Marvel Adventures Superheroes number 5, and material from Strange Tales 126 and 127. So great value those in terms of wanting some of the older stuff, but also great all ages stuff as well. We continue on to the next Mighty Marvel Masterwork. So we've already had the Spider-Man Volume 1, we've already had the Fantastic Four Volume 1, now we have X-Men Volume 1. So essentially this collects X-Men 1 to 10. So again, this is doing everything from the beginning in these really cool, easily sort of digest sizes. Again, great for all ages, and again, great if you want to read some of that early stuff. So that's X-Men 1 to 10 there. Move on to something a little bit more adult. This was a really good vault titles from Lonnie Nadler. This was called Black Stars Above. Roddy was a big fan of this. He actually introduced it my way, but this is some really cool old school horror book. And it was, I believe it was 5 issues in total. This contains everything, and just again, highly recommend. Now, if you're a horror fan, and again, we're always trying to recommend horror books because it seems to be a genre that the comic industry actually does take seriously and give you plenty of options for. So Black Stars Above. We've been getting in some of the Boom Studios RoboCop stuff. So obviously all of this is independent of the movies, all their own sort of individual stories. And of all people, you've got Joshua Williamson writing this one, of course, well known for Nailbiter, well known for a lot of stuff in the DC Universe at the moment, including obviously finishing off that legendary Flash run, but also doing things like Infinite Frontier and Robin. But this one is also drawn by Carlos Magno as well, so a little bit of RoboCop action there. I talked about a couple of classics getting back into the store, and I really couldn't believe when I looked at our shelves we did not have the Magic Order on the racks. And Magic Order is fantastic. This is essentially Goodfellas meets Harry Potter, and it's every bit as good as those two combined sound. It's adult, it's dark, it's just a brilliant series. It's Mark Miller writing, and then you have Olivier Coipel on art. I believe it's being turned into a TV show. Who cares? This book is incredible, and it will get in your head, and it will stay there, believe me. Another couple of classics as well. I've talked at length about these. So we have Reckless back on the shelves. So we have Volume 1, which is just Reckless, and Volume 2, Friend of the Devil. So again, these are the self-contained original graphic novels from the superstar team of Brubaker and Phillips, and of course Jacob Phillips on colors as well. But these are amongst some of the best things you'll read on the racks at the moment. So we sold, I think, something like 10 copies of it last week, which is pretty unprecedented for a store like ours. Between the first book and the second book, so we were out of stock. So, but delighted to have them back in stock. Next up, we have Volume 3 of Marauders. So what you'll see in our racks is we organize our graphics by character. So if you look under X-Men, it'll have all of these titles. So instead of it being under M for Marauders, we have it under X-Men. So essentially all the relaunch titles from the Hickman era, you know, your Marauders, your X-Men, your X-Force, your X-Factor, etc., Excalibur. They're all in one spot, and they're all beautifully color-coded as well. But we're up to Volume 3 now of Jerry Dugan's Marauders. You may have seen the show. Why not check out The Return? So this is Sweet Tooth, The Return. This was 6 issues from Jeff Lemire. He essentially called this a remix for old and new readers alike, with the idea being that you don't have to read the whole 40 issues of Sweet Tooth to get a sense of the story. He did this one, Sweet Tooth, The Return, which was 6 issues, and that's all self-contained there. Speaking of the X-Men, you had the Dawn of X stuff, which was all the number 1s together, all the number 2s, all the number 3s. We're now on the Reign of X, so this is everything in the aftermath of X of Swords. And again, we keep them all with the X-Men in terms of alphabetization there. This was a really, really good read, actually. This is Blade Runner Origins. So this is going right back even before the events of the first Blade Runner movie, going back right to the early experiments of the Tyrell Corporation. This is awesome. I came to this quite late. Keith had recommended it to me, jumped in, devoured the first 4 issues, and that's what you get here, the entire first story arc. Another title we're big fans of in the store, I'm sure you've probably heard us chat about it in the podcast, should you listen to it. This is a story called Two Moons. This is from John Arcudi and art by Valerio Giangiordano. And this is great stuff. Again, it's sort of Indian horror aspect, you know, it's to do with, you know, that messy period in America, of course, where, you know, Indian tribes were being moved off their land and so forth, but it brings in a lot of Indian sort of supernatural culture to it as well, and it's really, really cool. Really good art as well. If I had to recommend one trade this week, this would be it. This is Radiant Black Volume 1. Radiant Black has been brilliant. I thought it was a little bit slow in getting started. We hit issue 4. It did something I hadn't seen in an indie comic in a long time, and it is fantastic. It's one of the first that goes to the top of my read pile. This one collects issues 1 to 6, so the entire first story arc, but it's also at that brilliant image price point, that £9 price point for a volume 1. Can't recommend it enough. I mean, you've got blurbs on the cover from Robert Kirkman on one side and Scott Snyder from the other. So if you're not going to listen to me, listen to them. Next up, we have a collection of Marvel's most recent event, Heroes Reborn. So this collects Heroes Reborn 1 to 7, as well as Heroes Return number 1. So talent involved in this, the likes of Jason Aaron, of course, on writing duties, but they switch the artists around quite a bit, and it's a who's who. It's Ed McGuinness, it's Dale Keown, it's James Stokoe, it's Aaron Cooter. You know, it's a great rake of talent there, and this is the complete collection of that. Next up, some more Vault horror. This one is called The Plot. So this one, again, is the entire first story arc. I believe The Plot has went to a second story arc, which can only ever be a really good thing. But yeah, Vault Comics for this title, and again, I've been recommending Vault stuff quite a bit, whether it's single issues or trades, and it's good to see them starting to put the trades out, and they're lovely, lovely additions as well. We already had Ultimate Collection Volume 1 of Invincible in. We're now got up to Volume 2. They're starting to do reprints of all of these, so we're going to make sure to get them in as they go. Ultimate Collection tends to collect anywhere between 12 to 13 issues at a time. Beautiful hardcover, blown up art. Quite a luxurious way to collect Invincible. Then a pretty cool new omnibus in this week is Timely's greatest. This is the Golden Age Human Torch. So this is back when it was Timely Comics. This is before it became Marvel Comics. But with the Human Torch, this is going right back to some of the greatest talents of all, the absolute greats of the industry. You know, Bill Everett, Joe Simon, Jack Kirby. You know, they essentially defined Marvel in the early days. And that's what this book is. This is collecting stuff going right back to, you know, the 40s. And there's some wonderful stuff in here. So I'm actually semi-tempted by that myself, because that's history in your hands right there. On to the compendiums. So I did a little top-up of compendiums this week as well. I'm delighted to finally be getting Invincible in stock. So volume 1 right here. So this, if you're going to commit to reading a long-form story, whether it's Invincible, whether it's Walking Dead, compendiums are the way to go. This will come in at around £55–56, but you're getting 50 issues for that. It's just over £1 an issue. So if you're going to commit to it, this is the way to do it, as collecting the likes of the hardcovers or even the trade paperbacks can prove expensive. And Invincible is superb. Again, only read it myself earlier this year, blazed through it, brilliant stuff. Also, in terms of early compendiums, we got Spawn compendium back in stock as well. So we are collecting Spawn 1 to 50 here. So same again, if you're looking at getting into Spawn, certainly with the upcoming launches for Keen Spawn and for Gunslinger Spawn, that's the place to go, and that'll give you it right from the start. A series that is split across 2 compendiums, but is absolutely brilliant and very underrated if you ask me, is Ex Machina. So Ex Machina was from the team of Brian K. Vaughan and Tony Harris. Essentially what this was is, imagine Superman meets the West Wing. You have a character in this called the Machine, and he's a superhero. He actually prevents 9/11 from happening, but he decides that instead of using his superpowers to, you know, save bits and pieces on the street and try and cut down crime and stuff, he decides to run for mayor of New York. and he wants to use his sort of super abilities to help with Office and make the city a better place. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, Brian K. Vaughan is, as you well know, one of my favorite writers. You know, Saga, Why the Last Man. The man knows long form storytelling, and Ex Machina is sort of his, I don't want to say little known masterpiece, but it's certainly not as appreciated, I think, as much as Saga and Why the Last Man would certainly be. And then the last omnibus, just to show you, or compendium I should say, is volume 2 of Invincible. So I have volume 3 on the way as well, which will be the entire story. But volume 1 back in stock, volume 2 back in stock. If you're digging the show, or you want to see what all the fuss is about, or you just fancy an absolutely kick-ass story, Invincible is a place to go. So that's volume 2 there as well. So yeah, all these are going on the shelves for tomorrow. Is there anything appeals to you? Drop us a message, or else just pop into the store and we'll have them on the racks good to go. Check out elsewhere on the network, as I say, for my pull list video for this week to take you through the single issue releases. But also I've put a video out there on Free Comic Book Day as well, so that you guys know what's going on with that, which is going to be the 28th of this month for us. So anyway, hope you guys are staying safe out there. I look forward to seeing you in the store, and take it easy.